What do you do when your favorite game gets a terrible update? You complain, right? You vent, you post online, you try to be heard. Well, in the case of Mario Kart World, doing that will get you banned. Yeah, banned for being too negative. The backlash to this latest update has gotten so massive, so chaotic, that the subreddit for Mario Kart World, which is home to over 17,000 fans, basically told its community to shut up and move on. And honestly, that's a huge problem. So here is the mod post. It says negativity posts regarding the recent update are now banned. The mod team have decided on this due to a flood of ranting and low effort posts about the update that made 3-lap tracks harder to select online. We get it. The update sucks and we agree. Wow, they actually agree on this. We've also unfortunately received messages from users that have left the subreddit over the toxic nature and rudeness of people in the comments from posts regarding this topic. So, typical Nintendo fanboys, you can't say anything bad about the Big N. They left over criticism. Oh my gosh. Anyways, continue on. It says, we don't want you to feel like you're being silenced or censored either. So if you have any questions, complaints, or information regarding the 1.1.2 update, please discuss it in this thread rather than making a post about it. This will help keep the subreddit tidier. So basically, they are locking any negativity or criticism about this update into a thread. Here's the thread, the Mario Kart World 1.1.2 update discussion thread, and you're gonna see they're saying that this is basically the place so that they can't feel that they're silenced, right? Please discuss it here rather than posting about it, since we've already had a flood of posts regarding this controversial update. I get it, you're a mod, you don't want negativity to be around and all this stuff, you can't say anything bad. I don't understand why Reddit mods are always so censorship happy. It's nuts. In fact, they got called out in a banger Reddit reply right here saying, I'm just going on the record. Censorship is not the way. It's not. It's a failure of the mods for not handling the situation correctly. Fortunately, these niche subreddit isn't very relevant, with many subreddits proving better quality of posts while being more informative. Right? They said, note to any readers here, pay attention to the upcoming first-party Nintendo releases. If you see a trademark made for a new title, make the subreddit for it. Create the subreddit for it. Stop allowing these mods to collect power and abuse the public's goodwill. Moderation is not to be treated as a Pokemon card where you trade and swap positions, and yet here we are. Mass bans are never the answer, right? And they said neither is harassment. As the effective police officers of the subreddit, it's your obligation to rise above the frenzy and behave correctly, and sometimes that means taking one on the chin. If you cannot do that, then you are in the wrong position. Step down immediately. What you guys do is not difficult in any way, shape, or form. Many of you moderate for the wrong reasons. In fact, the majority of you do. I mean, this is a huge call out. A lot of people that are Reddit mod, Discord mods, they get power hungry. They said what the moderation staff has shown us is pure laziness. I mean, banger response there, guys. This Reddit, keep an eye on it, because it's on fire right now. So here's the setup, guys. We talked about it. The latest Mario Kart World update, version 1.1.2, seemed small in the patch notes. One minor line buried in the log said that they tweaked how random tracks are selected during online play, but what it really did, though, was make intermission tracks show up way more often. These tracks are short one-lap connections. They were never popular. In fact, most players intentionally picked random to avoid them, and they wanted real races, right? Actual 3-lap competition. But after this update, good luck. You're going to be stuck on short, boring connector roads way more often. In fact, most of the time. We've already talked about this in the updates from the last couple of videos we've had, where the Metacritic for this game is getting review bombed as we speak. People aren't happy with this. And that alone was enough to start this firestorm, like I said. This update where it seems like Nintendo kind of wants to streamline and modernize stuff just to, I guess, no longer have choice for players. Choice is too much, right? Reddit threads are exploding right now, though. Instead of Nintendo stepping in with a fix or even just a response, the Mario Kart World subreddit moderators took matters into their own hands, like I just showed you guys. And by take matters into their own hands, they are literally banning people for criticizing the game too much. And we've seen this in the past with Ubisoft subreddits for Assassin's Creed Shadows and other games. This never ends well. This always causes a huge backlash for the games. And even if it's not the actual video game studio's fault and it's some subreddit mod that's going rogue on behalf of the whole subreddit that they have emergency powers over, it's never a good look, okay? The moderator that we just showed these screenshots from, Michael14375, the post that they made saying that they were put a stop to all the low effort ranting. I mean, low effort, dude, come on. You're literally going to be putting a blanket statement over all criticism. According to him, the subreddit just became too flooded with negative posts and complaints, and users are leaving because the space had become toxic. Why is it always the little weeb Nintendo people that get all, oh, we're just too toxic, right? The solution that this Michael guy had was to delete the complaints, ban the ranting, keep it clean, and just to keep up appearances, right? They created that mega thread where you're allowed. We're allowing you to vent, right? How generous. How generous of you, Michael, in the subreddit. Now, look, I get it, guys. If you're a mod and you see the same post 200 times in a week, sure, it's exhausting, but when that many players are upset, that's not spam, all right? It's a signal. It means something in the game is genuinely broken, and instead of listening to it, they're muting it on Reddit. This is Mario Kart World, the launch game for the Switch 2. This is what they gave us, okay? And they made this update, and after a single misstep on it, right, the only online community that is on the Switch 2 at this point is punishing people. And now, after this update, which was a misstep because it made a lot of people mad, the only online community for this game, the subreddit for Mario Kart World, is punishing people for speaking up. Let that sink in. They're punishing people for speaking up, and that's not cool. Let's be honest, okay? Players aren't just mad that Nintendo made this update that made it to where intermission tracks were more common. They're mad because Nintendo made a decision that nobody asked for, that nobody likes, and now apparently nobody wants to fix, and nobody wants to hear about it. And you have subreddit mods acting like this is your fault for not liking it the right way. And again, it's always the subreddit or Discord mods, right? It always happens. This is something that we've covered in the past. There was a whole hoopla about the Lords of the Fallen subreddit where they came out and actually banned the CEO from it, the software studio that made that game. This whole entire thing with the Mario Kart World subreddit really reflects a growing problem in gaming. There's this weird push to treat criticism like toxicity. You see it everywhere. If you make a video talking about a public figure or a video game, you're just being toxic and negative, right? You know, that idea to say that if you complain, you're part of the problem. Feedback is what keeps games alive, guys. It's what pushes devs to actually fix things and evolve and learn from their mistakes. If players can't talk about what's wrong with Mario Kart World or what they don't like with Mario Kart World on its own subreddit, where can they talk about it? The official subreddit is a main place for a community to talk about this stuff. And before you say, oh, well, you're just salty and you're just crying, look at what the fans are actually asking for. We went over the Metacritic. People are asking for this update to change. They want proper 3-lap races. They want a real Grand Prix. They want the freedom to race their friends on full tracks, not these filler intermission stages. And that's not whining to give your take about it, to give your opinion about it. That's completely valid feedback. But again, the majority of these Nintendo fanboys out there, they're like, why are you crying? You guys need to pull the Nintendo cock out of your ass, all right? And realize some of the stuff that they do is a misstep. And it's perfectly fine for you to like it and for me not to. And we can have a difference of opinion and still be cool, right? Why live in this world where you're not allowed to complain, where you're not allowed to give an opinion at something? And I'm not alone in this. Again, There's people getting banned. There's people posting everywhere about it, tweeting about it. You know, maybe there was a lot of posts on the subreddit saying a lot of the same thing, but maybe that's because a lot of people agree on it. That's not spam. That's a clear message. So if Nintendo doesn't respond to this, and the community isn't allowed to talk on the subreddit, how are things supposed to improve for this game? Can somebody answer that? How are we supposed to get Nintendo our feedback? That's going to be next to impossible. Mario Kart World has the potential to be one of the best online racers on the Switch too, and it opened up great. It had a great launch. I was enjoying it. I'm playing it like almost every other day, but this update just basically put a wrench in all that. It ruined a lot of people's enjoyment of this game, and the silencing of people that followed shortly after, that's what pushes players away, guys. So let me ask you this. Do you think the mods made the right call banning these people and then putting them into their own little thread? Or is this just another example of censoring criticism when it's inconvenient? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below because I want to hear from you. And if you're sick of this kind of stuff happening in video games, and if you want coverage that actually calls it out, subscribe to this channel, guys. We're just getting started here. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.